Hi, welcome to Triangle Spotlight. I'm Suzanne Lynn, and joining me today is Shelly Elsliger, coming from Canada. Did I get it close this time?
Yes, yes, perfect.
Good, good, good. I've had some difficult names the last couple days. I don't know, but Shelly, we're so excited about what you offered and the type of coaching that you do. We want you to fill us in, but it really is LinkedIn focused. Tell us about your company and why LinkedIn is so important.
So my company is called Linked Express.
Mhm.
It's almost going in its 10th year anniversary next month.
Wow. Is
Well,
LinkedIn even that old?
yes, yes.
Oh gosh. Okay.
LinkedIn has been around for a while. I think officially 2003. So
Okay.
it's been around a while. But I think at the beginning, people really didn't know we were. I mean, we didn't even know if we liked it or we didn't like it. We didn't know what it
Sure.
was.
Is this
So
Facebook for grown-ups? I mean, what
oh,
is it? Right.
yeah, people
Yeah.
were using it
Yeah.
Facebook for adults. Online resumes. So I think eventually it morphed into something else. I still don't think people actually understand what it is, or many people. But I was lucky enough to 10 years ago to dive deeper into it and to find out what an amazing and comprehensive platform it really is and what we can use it for. So my company's called Linked Express. I'm a globally recognized LinkedIn speaker, so I do quite a few things online as it is. So I work a lot with teams. I do a lot of speaking engagements, and I guess my signature talk and signature workshop is called LinkedIn and High Heels for Women Business Leaders, because I use LinkedIn as an empowerment tool. So
Mhm.
I do use LinkedIn, and I definitely work with letting people know how to optimize their experience on LinkedIn. But my goal is always to use LinkedIn as an empowerment tool. So that's
Mhm.
really my reason of being, as you would say.
I gotcha. Well, we're recording this. I think today's what, the 24th of March. Excuse me. And I want to refer to BC before Corona and AC after Corona. Where are we at right now in this very interesting time?
I think it's a difficult, very well, it is, there's no doubt about it, a very difficult and uncertain time. I've decided to see the positive in everything. I mean, for the last 2 weeks, I've been doing nothing but changing my lifestyle.
Mhm.
So, and also dealing with a lot of people who are now more than ever wanting to learn how to, utilize and optimize
Mhm.
LinkedIn. Because the thing about it is that one thing I'm not feeling is lonely,
Mm.
because I have a really big community on LinkedIn that was there for me before the coronavirus,
Wow.
there for me now during the coronavirus, and will be there after the coronavirus,
Mm.
after we get back to normal as we used to know it.
Right,
So,
right.
so I do think that it's a really tough time. I think it's a tough time for job seekers. As you know, I also work at University of Toronto as a LinkedIn trainer and as a career specialist. So I see that there's a real anxiousness around, oh, well, for employers and students. So employers are wondering, how do we, still go forward with the commitments we've made to new graduates and internships for the summer? And then the students on the other hand who got offers are thinking, what now? Is it actually going to happen? Is it going to transpire? And the ones who haven't um, secured any work yet are wondering, what now, and what am I going to do? So, and the international
Mm.
students are even at a very experience even more anxiousness, because they don't even have the ability to go back home.
Mm.
So if that's where they were going to go back and have some summer employment or go back for full-time employment. So there's a lot of anxiety around COVID. And I mean, you can wake up one morning and they'll say 85 new cases, and just by the evening, you've already doubled that.
Right.
So very, very tough.
And and I sure don't want to sugarcoat, but I like you try to see the positive. And man, what an opportunity for a new LinkedIn awareness and a
Yes.
new LinkedIn audience.
I absolutely agree. And I can even say that my my LinkedIn community, otherwise known as my LinkedIn fam, hashtag LinkedIn fam, has even gotten closer. I noticed that last night we did what was called a Global Connection LinkedIn event, where we had somebody from the UK, somebody from Australia, and
Mm,
myself actually come together to talk about what's been happening with respect to COVID-19 and what we've been doing to help either job seekers or people that want to, get to know LinkedIn more, or people that are experiencing a transition and want to use LinkedIn. So we all got together because none of us have ever met, but
mhm,
we are doing so many amazing things together. So that was one of the ways to show just how this community, even though it's online and it's not comfortable for many of us, it's actually something that's at our fingertips, and we have it right there. We just have to get over, and most of the time it's that fear, that
mhm.
imposter syndrome that many of us have,
Mhm,
that we have to
mhm,
get over and embrace what's there, because it's there and it's powerful, and it's allowing us a chance to actually build on our own skills. If we're used to doing workshops and speaking face to face or in public, which is what I ultimately really like to do,
mhm.
um, I'm changing. Things are changing, and I have no choice to change. But at the same time, there is a future of work that is going to be a lot different than when we're used to. So this opportunity is going to allow us to kind of transition ourselves into that future of work that is going to really push us to learn new skills and a new way of doing things, and also a new attitude.
Shelly, you mentioned imposter syndrome. What does that mean when you talk about LinkedIn? Pretending to be something that you're not, or being afraid that you're not as good as the other people that are on, or
Yes, B.
yeah,
uh,
okay.
not feeling good enough.
Okay.
And it exists predominantly on LinkedIn compared to most of the other social media sites, because LinkedIn is the only professional social media site. And a lot of people are on there either to get a career, transition into a career, build a professional network. So when they decide that they actually want to post, or would like to post, or would like to even comment, or just get involved in activity that's already present there, for many of us, there's a hesitation to do that. And in many cases, people just don't do it. So they become just lonely lurkers on LinkedIn because they're there, they're looking,
Excuse
and
me,
they're
I'm sorry.
looking around, but they're
Mhm.
actually not contributing. And LinkedIn is all about contribution. If you really want to get somewhere and get somewhere fast, then it has to go beyond just simply having a profile, because the algorithm, it works with the building of your profile, but then there's an expectation of activity afterwards.
Mhm, you can't stand
So
in the corner of the room of LinkedIn and expect people to
yeah,
just keep coming to you. You have to let them know that you're there.
exactly. So
Mm.
imposter syndrome is a big thing. It even exists it exists on and offline, even with some of the celebrities that we know have talked a lot about having imposter syndrome in the last few years. It's not something that is like unique to anybody. It's something that we all hold. We all have. I mean, I even have it. I just don't have it on LinkedIn, but I did at the beginning, and
Sure.
I had to push myself through it. I had to because that's really the only way, is to push yourself through it, do
Mm.
some things that you really feel good about, and get the people around you to even support you at the beginning. Ask them to support you, you support them, invest in social reciprocity, and then what happens from there is it grows organically, and then
Mm.
your fear lessens and your confidence builds.
So I might be like a level 1 or level 2 user of LinkedIn. To me, the basic is, you post a blog, you post a story, you connect with someone that you have like interest in. Um, and what are some ways that are non-traditional or a little bit out of the box thinking that you can put yourself kind of in the center of the party?
So there are a few things. Number one, like I have a strategy every day and build, well, maybe not completely every day, but certainly every second day, on building my network with like-minded people, or specific people. So for example, when I wanted to get involved in TEDx and involve myself in doing a speech, I really focused on connecting with people that were in the TEDx world.
Mm.
And so, I focused a search using the advanced search. I narrowed it down to people locally because then I could bring those people out for a LinkedIn latte and get to know them and get to know their experience, and hopefully maybe even introduce me to people that were there as coaches to help people who wanted to do the TEDx talk. So advanced
Oh,
search on LinkedIn is really important, and doing it strategically. So I don't wait for people to come to me. I mean, now I'm at the point where every day I have connection requests, but
sure.
I'm very strategic. So I don't let a week pass without really strategically figuring out who I want to connect with. That could be, podcasters, that could be people of TEDx, that could be people who are other career specialists or LinkedIn specialists. So I'm always very strategic, and I'm very proactive in that way. Second of all, what I post, I take kind of an 80-20 or 70-30% approach to what I post. I post daily. And it's always helpful. So I'm always thinking about how I can help my network. So I'm either posting about career development stuff. Today I posted a quiz on that asks people, "Are you truly LinkedIn?" And I have 100 questions, and then you can rate yourself at the end on how LinkedIn you really are. I'll do things like the event I held last night with some other LinkedIn specialists. So I'm always trying to think out of the box and what I can do to give back to my network. Which I think is really important, because if you're recognized as a go-giver on LinkedIn, you'll go far yourself. So
Mm.
I customize everything. I never send a connection request without without sending something really personalized. I actually, to be honest, I took a little template and I wrote down 4 things that kind of offset me, things that really relate to my own profile. So when I'm actually sending a request to somebody, the first part of the request is really targeted in. Maybe I met that person before. Maybe somebody told me about that person. Maybe I just like their content and I want them to know that. But the other part of my connection request is based on 4 things that offset me from anybody else. So it's almost like a customized template, and it tells
Mhm.
people about me without being too salesy. It
Mm.
really just tells people about who I am and how I stand out.
And man, Shelly, is that not the key? Not being salesy and about relationships. I kind of joke talking about how do you get to the center of the party. But really, if you think of yourself as a guest at a party or as the host of the party, you're really catering to other people. You're being guest focused and not self focused. You would never say, "Oh, well, come let me show you the jewelry that I have, and let me show you my expensive this and that and everything." It's really, "Hey, how may I serve you? What would you like to drink? Would you like some hors d'oeuvres over there? I'd like to introduce you to this person." And I love that because it's really just a digital way of being a party host. And it seems like the more you put the focus on other people, the more it puts a spotlight on you. It's just built that way.
100%. LinkedIn was built around networking. That was the main goal when they built the platform. But like so many people, we jump on, we quickly get on a social media site, do what we do, think that it's right, but never ask any questions
Mhm.
about
Mhm.
really whether it's right or not. So it was always about networking. And like you just mentioned, you wouldn't go to a networking event and say, "Let me run down my resume for you,"
Right.
and
Right.
and
Right.
expect people to be really happy about that.
Well, somehow we lose our head when we're online. We're
Yeah.
like, we forget about our manners and we forget about what makes us attractive to other people, and that's not being self-focused. One of the things I've heard you speak about is that the buffet of LinkedIn doesn't work. What do you mean by a buffet, and why doesn't it work? I love buffets.
I think I used to, but I don't like them anymore.
Okay.
Um, uh, well, when we take I call it the buffet approach, and that means like treating everybody equal, um, sending the same kind of like connection request to the same people,
Mhm.
posting on the same things. Like a lot of people think that they have to stick directly to what they know. It's okay to come out and there's a certain percentage that has to be around your expertise and knowledge, especially if you want to become a thought leader
Mhm.
in that. Like, there are a lot of things that interest me, but LinkedIn is and career development are my two specialties. So if I want to be known for that, I have to make sure that the majority of my content centers around that. But there's still about a 20-30% window that you want to be also talking about the other things that make you you
Right,
you know,
sure.
and the things that you're interested in, because that's only a part of my pie, LinkedIn and what I do at the university and the career development stuff. But there are a lot of things that I am interested in. For example, I walk on fire every year as a way for my new year to start off. But it tells a lot about me because I'm one of those risk takers. I'm one of those people that I love that kind of thing because I never thought I could do it. And I did
Sure.
it. Now I don't want to stop doing it.
That's very cool. That's really
Um,
neat. Stretching and being it's your brand. And what I'm hearing you say is that you've got your brand and you bring that to the platform of LinkedIn, you bring that to the platform of your college, you bring that to your personal life of walking on fire, but it's still who you are. Can you speak more to the general person about help us to build a brand? We all want to be the hey, I'll take a Coke or please hand me a Kleenex or make a Xerox copy. We want to have that kind of brand where we don't even know what the we're not referring to the product, we're referring to the actual, you know, brand itself. So can you help us about what is branding and how would we do that on our level?
So I think the best branders are the people that are the best storytellers. So storytelling
Mm,
is an art. I don't think we're used to necessarily writing in that way, but if you think back when we were children, the stories were important to us. We
mhm.
resonated with stories. Stories touched us. It was a way maybe to even connect with our parents or connect with our young peers when we were, in grade one or kindergarten or
Sure.
even further up the line. Storytelling is so vital on LinkedIn because people connect with stories, and the story about you is the most important story that you're going to write. LinkedIn is about your career story, but not just about the things you successfully have done in your career or the companies that you've worked with. It's kind of like those points along the way that really made a difference, and they
Mhm.
don't always have to be how do you say that, the glorious events, the ones that stood out. There are some things in our life that we may not have really enjoyed
Right. But
along
man, did
our
we
journey,
learn a lesson in them, right?
but did we learn a lesson? And that lesson can affect so many people and tell people that they're not alone. So it's not about
Mm.
creating this story that is just about everything good, but it's about creating your story that really is your story. And if it means that there was a lesson that you learned a lot of the way along the way and you can pay it forward, then please do, because we learn from other people. Those are the stories are what resonates with us. So
Mhm.
if you ever notice a LinkedIn story, the, when it starts off, you only see probably about 2 lines before you have to hit more. So when you write your story, you want to always think you want people to hit more. It's like when you pick the book off the shelf, you want people to take that cover page and
Mhm.
turn it over so that they can read the next thing that's in line. You want that to happen. So the very first 2 lines of your story, the about section, it's called now. It used to be called summary.
Mhm.
LinkedIn changed it to about, um, because they also thought that summary was too structured and
Mhm.
too precise.
Little yeah, sterile. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
summary, we often think about, let's take what we use, what we have, and then really like summarize it. But
Right.
it's not the same thing as storizing it, like
Right.
taking a story and creating a story about your career life. So think about the things that in your story that could make a difference to your target audience. So if you're thinking about a LinkedIn as a job search tool that would be interesting for recruiters or for employers, you know that you're going to have to highlight some of the things that you were recognized for, the things that you did really, really well, whether they were quantitative or qualitative, the moments that mattered, the the kind of like the journey that you went on from where you started to where you are currently. So you're creating kind of an idea because the people are reading that story, and then they're learning about you in a really holistic way, and not just a resume. Because a resume, I would say that resumes, in fact, if we look at the future of work, are going to lessen even now, even more so in importance. Because what has happened is that I have employers come into the university all the time and basically saying, I'm not taking business cards. I'm not interested in the resume. If I want that, I'll ask for it after. I want students to connect with me at about 48 hours and send me a customized message on LinkedIn. And this is what it's coming to. But if they don't have a really built profile, then it's going to take away from that initial contact. So it's really important to learn how to storytell. Take a Word document, write down some points, then recreate it. Take the time to build it, but think about it as something that you want somebody to go in, and in LinkedIn's case, hit that more button, because when they hit the more button, it signals to the LinkedIn algorithm that people enjoy learning more about you. And that's what true networkers want to do. They want to get to know more about you. So it's not those business cards that they pick up and they throw out. It's it's the next call. It's the LinkedIn lattes, I like to refer to, when you go for that next coffee chat. So it's what's led to that. So really think about what can lead to them. And then when they hit more, you don't want them to be disappointed. So you want to make sure those two first lines are catchy, really catchy. Say something that's catchy. They hit the more, and then when they hit the more, they're not disappointed because it's intriguing, it's motivating, it's compelling, it's catchy, and you're
brought them in,
right?
Yeah. Shelly, I feel like we just got started. I have so many more questions and so many more things that we could do, because I think this is going to be a really important platform, especially as we come through COVID and find what the new normal is going to be. A lot of people are unemployed and they're going to be turning to LinkedIn. People who have never even set up an account are now going to be aware of it. So thank you so much. I'm going to ask for you to come back in some time. But before I let you go, please give us let us have your contact information, and how can we best serve you? What would help you with LinkedIn or in any way?
Well, I think the best way to reach out to me is on LinkedIn and tell me that you listen to this, and that's how you got to know me. It would be great to connect and build my network, and then you get to know me more. You get to know what I offer. You get to know my what I offer to the community. I also have a company called Linked Express, linkedexpress.ca. So linked, Linked, express, all in one word, .ca. And I also have a campaign that some people may be interested in. It's I'll just show you my bracelet. It started January 1st. It's can you, I don't know if you see it.
For our radio listeners, I'm sorry you can't see it. It's very, very pretty. It's a stretchy band. Is that right?
It's a wristband called on one side it has hashtag decide to be kind. And on the other one, it has be a LinkedIn superhero. And how this started was because it's such an important tool for job seekers, for professionals, for future leaders. And but there is some bullying that takes place on LinkedIn, and I will do my very best, 150%, to not ever allow LinkedIn to be an unsafe or like negative place to be for us, but also for the people that come after us and are going to need LinkedIn more than ever. So the Decide to Be Kind wristbands have traveled all over the world. I'm already on my second batch of wristbands. So what happened is during the COVID, it used to be 2 for 1. So I would send you 2 and I would send 1 for you to pay forward. Now it's just to cover, really, because I'm part of, I linked up with Cyber Smile, which is a cybersecurity charity. And in January 2021, I will make a big donation to them on behalf of what we're trying to do on LinkedIn. So if anybody wants to be part of that, you can find out that information on linkexpress.ca, or you can send me a message on LinkedIn, and you will receive. It's now buy one get one free. And what I get people to do is take a picture of themselves and write a note expressing, either they can tell a story, they can just talk about the importance of being kind, or they can just really put a wristband up and say no to bullying.
Mm.
No, excuse me, on LinkedIn. So really, really an important message, and it's gone far. It's gone. I never thought that when I started this on January 1st, it would go as far as it has gone. But it just goes to tell you that how powerful a LinkedIn community can be, and you want people to have your back. I know that I have so many people that have my back.
I think you said it best, and I'm sorry we have to end right there, but thank you so much, Shelly. Have a great day, be safe, and we will be in touch again very soon, okay?
No problem. I look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching the show. We hope that you enjoyed it. Having digital marketing for your product or organization is so crucial these days. People are ditching traditional advertising like print and broadcast commercials and turning to relationship marketing platforms like YouTube and podcasts that people can consume on demand on their time. Let's talk about how we can build your digital library with segments just like this.